Well, good day, family. Good day, family. This is actually a Rising Ground Church and a God Perspective moment. So it'll be going on both pages. I wanted to address something specific. It's kind of weird. I think it's kind of weird. It doesn't, how it's going to come out, I don't know. But we were, so I'm kind of got my little hat on and my little thing on. We were going out to walk. You know, Chandra does a lot of walking with the kids, and I really don't come because I'm either, if I do, I'm in staying in the car because I got this little cane here. So it's you know, on my little healing journey, a part of the situation is it's been difficult to walk, and so I'm kind of limited on a lot of things right now. But so we got to our little walking place, and you know, we were walking. I told them to go ahead of me because I can go so far and I could come back around. And so I did that, and I was turning back around, and I was thinking about something. And there's a thing called shadow work. Now, how I'm talking about it, it's could sound a little different, but it's really not. But it's called shadow work, and I wanted to just kind of address briefly and simply the dangers of shadow work. And I'll say it this way. Well, let me add my disclaimer in here. There are levels of this type of work that could very well seem beneficial. I don't go to the ins and outs of it because it's not my lane per se. But what is my lane is perspective and counsel and guidance as it relates to how God is directing me to present something to you. So the dangers of shadow work is this. I had received a prophetic word a couple years ago, and the person said, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before or not, but the person said that they see an angel of God reaching into my stomach and pulling out this black mist or this black misty type of stuff. So he said, you know, the person was like that, you know, the enemy is attacking you from your health. So, you know, okay, you know, and set up a bunch of other things or a few other things. And I thought about that because it's been over a couple of years now, I think. Well, almost 2 years. And I think about it from time to time. And I was reminded that what the angel was pulling out was, in essence, a shadow of something that could be. A shadow of something that could be. Now, what's interesting about my situation and your situation as it relates to defining something, you know, God just says, give thanks in all things. We don't have to go into a thing and define it or try to, you know, really peer into it unless God says, go to the doctor or whatever. But there's always a deeper meaning behind that too. So unless God says that, we shouldn't really allow ourselves to peer too deeply into a thing, because what happens is we will take a shadow and we will give the shadow substance and form. So, and it doesn't matter if it's right or if it's righteous or if it's unrighteous. Meaning, if it's righteous, I believe you let God define the form. When we stay in gratitude, when we stay in thanksgiving, when we stay in the mind and the personality of God, it's going to form that identity anyway. But when we are, you know, in essence, trying to figure out what's going on and what's happening with my life, with my family, with my health, with my finances, with just the neighbor next door, then what happens is you start to give life to something that never was supposed to have life. You'll turn a shadow into life. You know, what is it? David said, what? The shadow of death. So something is always lurking around us, trying to have form and trying to have substance. So the dangers of this type of work is you have to peer into your life to try to figure out what happened and what's wrong. Now, again, there could be layers and levels to this thing that are beneficial. I think anything is beneficial when the spirit of the living God directs you to do it. That's when the beneficialness comes. But what we have to realize as believers, Because if you're not a believer, then I don't really know what else to say. But as believers, we have to remember and realize that there are always other things at play. There are always supernatural entities or spirits at play. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities and powers, with spirits. So there is countless of number of spirits that can direct you into something that seems and feels good and seems and feels righteous and logical. But from the perspective of God, it's a danger, because you didn't consult the creator of all things when you decided to investigate this thing. So just think about this, folks. So when you find yourself, in a moment of fear or in trauma or worry, and you just like, man, I gotta know what's going on. Allow the Spirit of God to give you, the why and the what for, and let God direct you where you have to go with it. Because when you take it upon yourself to do other things, then there is a great possibility that you're going to give a shadow that does not that wasn't meant to have form. You'll give it form, and then then all of a sudden it's manifested in your life physically, and now you have to deal with that. Now with God, anything is possible, but the wisdom of God teaches us that don't go in so many areas, you know what I mean, that you create a problem that when you just had one, now you got six. So allow the wisdom of God to give you perspective and understanding and truth. So that's all I got, y'all. Pastor Jamal. This is the God Perspective and Rising Ground Church. I'll talk to you. Peace.